Yeah, many times we see that we're very critical towards the people we love, that are close to us. It could be a spouse, our kids, brothers, parents. There's some pretty acute criticism developing there for different reasons. Maybe because we expected something and we didn't get it, we were disappointed, and as a result, we became critical. So we see that criticism, even inside your home, is threatening to take apart the closest thing we have, the family cell, our family, and we really see that we don't have any control over it. It's like the mechanism of criticizing others is controlling us because we know it's destructive and we don't want to destroy a meaningful relationship, and it still, nevertheless, happens. Why? Why do we have such tongue-lashing criticism towards people that are important to us? It's because of our ego. It seems like it's against us. It's against us on the one hand. And on the other hand, we have to understand that when we develop our ego that's developing and burning inside us, that tells each one of us that he is an individual persona, then in men, especially in men, but even women, have criticism even about their children, and very harsh criticism that they're ready to hit, to criticize, to punish, and all that so that the kids will meet the way of living, form of behavior that the parents see fit. So it's no longer that love determines the parents' behavior towards their children, but the ego does, not the instinctive love on the animate level, where just like animals take care of their offsprings. But here it's already the human ego, which is not that human anymore, where parents start feeling that they want to demand of their children that which they can't demand of themselves, and so they want to realize in their kids what they themselves didn't realize, and the poor kids, they can't realize it either, but the parents, they don't want to take it into account. And besides, they also want for their kids to be the most successful in everything. And I really see how they're put into different classes and what's demanded of them above and beyond anything. Is there a way? I mean, I know we're talking about kids, so on the one hand, we're talking about encouragement. We encourage him, we give him a compliment. On the other hand, we criticize him. Is it the right way to use these two things? What's the right way to use the two? That's the question. How to correctly use what exactly? Criticism. How to correctly use criticism and encouragement at the same time. It's like two ends. I think that criticism should be minimum, unless we want to. I don't even know when to use it. It has to be very free, only in the boundaries which we form as the family boundaries, that up to here and no further, that we have certain principles, suppose, in our family, that all of us talk about them, that beyond this, we, the parents, and especially the kids, we can't breach them. It could be like the Ten Commandments. It could be like anything else. but it has to be clear to the children that for us, the parents, it's a supreme value, and then we demand it. We don't even demand it, it's the obvious. It's like rules that are customary in the family, laws. Yeah, laws that keep the family, keep its level, keep the way we look at life. Wait, I'm lost. You're saying that the principle you're saying is that criticism has to be minimum. Yes. And you also said that it has to be free, but within certain boundaries. Yes, and the Ten Commandments, the kid himself, the child himself, has to understand how he has to operate his criticism in order to remain in the framework of the family and meet the requirements which are customary to the family. And he'll criticize himself with a simple question. Is it good or bad in the eyes of the family that he's supposed to exist in? And if he doesn't criticize himself, if he doesn't, then possibly he'll collide with what's customary in the family. Right, and then I as a parent, yeah. And then we scrutinize things and criticize them, but our scrutiny and criticism is in order to provide him with tools to have self-criticism. Wait a second, this is a really important point now. As a psychologist, I understand it's interesting for you. Yeah, it's really interesting because it's not criticizing the child himself, showing him what's wrong with him, which is what we're naturally inclined to do. No, I teach him how to have self-criticism, self-examination, and to understand how can he be balanced with the laws which are customary in the family, because he's a part of the family. Meaning, the best thing that I as a parent can give my child is to teach him how to use the tool called self-criticism. Yes, we'll talk about that, but this is the most important tool that a person has. He has to know that he has a family. He has to know that the attitude towards the family will stay for life, even when he'll be a grown-up and he'll have children himself, he'll have a family of his own. He has to always know that even if maybe at some point he'll leave the boundaries of the family, he has to know that he left. And then he can't demand the family to treat him as a family member. You're describing some kind of a mechanism of self-criticism where a person, he becomes aware of when is he following the rules of the game called family, suppose, and when does he breach that? Yes, so much that suppose I have a grown-up child and under the influence of foreign forces, he breaches the boundaries of the family. What do you mean foreign forces? The influence of a foreign alien environment, and he leaves the circle of the family. He does something that is not customary in the family. We can criticize him in such a way that it will return him to the family, to the rules and regulations that are customary in the family. Meaning, you're describing something very interesting here, because usually our tendency to criticize is to criticize the person himself. Suppose his qualities, his deeds, his behavior. But here you're describing certain rules that we set. The rule is, the most important rule is to be connected. That's the rule. That being the highest value, that all of us, all the members in the family are connected in a way that there is no stronger connection than that. And then I actually give the child a certain tool that he himself develops in order to know where is he with respect to our connection in the family. Am I connected? Is what I did friendly, family-like, or did I do something which is not customary in the family? Then he loses any connection with the family, security, everything. And and this brings him back. Maybe this means giving a tool for constructive criticism. Of course, constructive. What does it construct in a person, actually? Because a family, from nature, also in animals, like we see, it's a cell that you can't destroy. When someone destroys that, he destroys humanity. So he loses his human form. And out of this we come to different horrific forms that are still future to develop in humanity until it will discover the destruction which was caused as the result of the destruction of the family and will have to correct itself. You can't destroy a family because in the family we, husband and wife, function as the two forces of nature by which we beget life, give birth to life. Plus and minus, when they're used correctly together, they beget life. Therefore, without the right kind of connection between husband and wife, there can't be life. What's the role of the plus, minus, husband, wife? What are the two forces of nature? To keep themselves in a way where there will always be such a connection between them that gives fulfillment to the new life. The kids have to feel that even when they distance and build their own families and everything, the source from where they got life remains, and it's between mom and dad, and this source is theirs. This is where they get their life from now as well, even though that they're grown-ups, and it doesn't matter. In nature, that's how it really is. And this life supplies them with both forces. Yes, mom and dad. But what are these two forces? You said like it's the forces of nature. Plus and minus. No, but in human qualities, what is that? Plus and minus, I understand. But in human qualities, what's the mother force, the father force? They're operating together as one. It's actually kind of forbidden for a child to feel that mom and dad are separate, because he got his life from both. And this is how he has to keep on receiving. Because in all the forms of life that we go through, mom and dad towards their children has to be as one.